This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Happy Monday, Meltdonia. I am Tim Melton. I blame our stream speed on that little gurgle there. I don't know what just happened. Hey, how's everybody doing? Happy to have you here live in the Culver studio. I was just digesting some well-done steak. I think that's what happened to me. We are a little light-handed this week here in the studio because EG is out on vacation getting some R&R as she has been directed to do. And so Tyler and I will be holding down the fort this week. We may have an array of special guests joining us here in studio. We'll talk about that throughout the course of the week, but I do want to welcome in my boy Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, how was the weekend that was?
It was good. It was very busy. I tried to watch just about everything that came out. I'm sure we'll get to some of those movies, and then there were some movies I just could not even force myself to watch over the weekend.
We will talk about them all as we get to the box office today and looking at the weekend that was at the Cineplex. I want to start off with this, the big breaking news out of Hollywood today. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit tossed out. Now he gets a chance to sort of get another swing at it, and a revised attempt to extract money from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and in 2 weeks he'll be asked to sort of present another argument. But this is a big win for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and a big win for the New York Times, which was also caught up in this whole lawsuit. And we've been covering the Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively drama ever since It Ends With Us came out. And this thing is still like a year away from ending up in a courtroom at some point. We don't even know if Baldoni will have any sort of offense to go for after his $400 million lawsuit was tossed out today. So a big, I think, win for Blake Lively. There's a lot of obviously Justin Baldoni supporters online saying that this is just sort of a speed bump in the road, and that he's going to end up having a stronger case now that he gets his legal team, gets a reality check of what it is they can actually sue for and all this stuff. So we'll see. Tyler, I get the sense that you're already exhausted by this whole legal drama.
To be honest, I'm both exhausted by it and also completely unaware of what is actually happening and what the lawsuits are actually over. No disrespect to you or EEG, the body that used to occupy that chair over there, that empty chair. Mm-hmm. But every time you guys talk about that lawsuit, my brain just turns off and just goes to somewhere else. I just completely daydream until that conversation is over. And I try to pay attention every time. I really do.
I imagine that you're thinking of Puppies, and I think It Ends With Us may be the one movie you didn't see last year.
I did not see It Ends With Us, so that's also part of it.
It was in my top 10 last year. I really enjoyed it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I really thought it was a great experience there. Now, I was the only guy in the theater watching this movie, but I feel like if there was one movie that I could take Jim Dunaway to confidently, it would have been this one last year, to where we could have had some sort of bonding experience over it. But I thought it was way better than I thought it was going to be. So
right,
I enjoyed it.
I think you could have taken Jim to that or We Live in Time. I think he would enjoy that one.
Maybe. I think he likes a little bit of the drama, a little bit of the gossip, and I'm not sure.
He's not. I thought he would have been a fan of the sad romance.
Maybe, but I mean that movie's like it's like a jarringly sad. You're not fully expecting it. It's jarringly sad. It Ends With Us is more like, wine night, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Anyway, if you'd seen it, you'd know. Okay, let's go to this.
You should take him to see Bride Hard in a couple weeks. Have you seen trailers for that?
No, I can honestly say I'm convinced you're making this up.
I am not. It is Rebel Wilson, and she goes to like a...
I'm already out.
It looks like Bridesmaids meets Die Hard. This bachelorette party gets attacked by terrorists or something, and Rebel Wilson's actually a CIA agent. She's going to save the day.
That sounds awful. Sounds
It
like the
looks terrible.
7th layer of hell. Let's go to this. I got, I'm a poker player, obviously. I'm a card player. I like collecting cards as well, packs of cards. And I was in Target this past weekend, and I really like Theory 11. I don't know if anybody knows what Theory 11 is, but they do like pop culture themed playing cards. And I bought the James Bond set. I've already had that one. I've multiple Star Wars sets, Avengers, Batman, Dark Knight trilogy. They've got a set of cards there that I absolutely adore and love. And I found this weekend in Target, there was one pack left of the Superman cards. They have Superman edition playing cards. And man, I love them. And I opened it up and I thought of you first, Tyler, because I opened it up and the Joker is Crypto. Crypto is the Joker. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
My boy.
that's your boy. You know, if there's anything that Tyler walks away from the new Superman movie with, probably it's his love of crypto. I feel like he can do no wrong in this movie, right?
No, he can't. I used to have let's say it was about 3 feet tall, crypto like stuffed animal that I won at Six Flags.
Oh, wow. Now that's life-changing right there. That's big.
I won it at my first trip to Six Flags, and so like that's my attachment with crypto. He had a show on Boomerang at the time.
Wow.
Plus the Six Flags story.
We've learned more about the tickets that are going on sale for Prime members, these Superman tickets. So they go on sale tomorrow, is that right? They go on sale tomorrow?
That's what I saw. They go on sale tomorrow, and they'll be announcing which theaters will be playing in your area. So you'll have to go to primepremiere.com. I believe that's the website. Double check me on that. Yeah. I shouldn't have said anything. I believe that's the website.
Now, we're A-listers. We're proud A-listers. So it always, whenever there's something like this, it always kind of gives us a little bit of do we jump the gun 2 days early? I didn't mean that pun, by the way. Jump the gun, James Gunn. Anyway, do we jump the gun 2 days early and watch Superman in theaters, pay out of pocket, probably in a theater that we don't want to be in? Or do we wait? You know, are we patient? Are we people that wait and choose our spot and find that perfect showing on that Thursday that we just absolutely adore? I don't know. But it's coming out on the Prime Early Access Tuesday, July 8th. That's the window for screening. And there's also, from what I've read, there's no reserved seating. So it's one of those things where you got to like be there 45 minutes early, check in, get in line, and like make a run for it. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but we'll know more tomorrow when we try to log in and see if we want to get tickets.
Yeah, that was what we initially saw when they announced the event, was that there was a check-in 45 minutes prior to showtime.
Yeah. It sounds awful. The whole process sounds awful.
It sounds terrible to see it 2 days early, which for us, you know, selfishly, that doesn't do us any favors because early reviews never perform well for us for whatever reason. And
because when people have their minds made up on I'm going to go see this, they typically aren't 2 days before going, oh, I want to hear everything about it. Typically.
I mean, whether it's a week out or 2 days before, it doesn't matter. It doesn't perform well for us. We'd have to go out of pocket, not sit in our favorite seats, which for me, like my plan was to see it in the first available Prime screening and get my favorite seat in the house for it. That's just not a thing with this, it seems.
We're going to check it out. And I kind of like the idea of hearing the buzz. You know, are people high on it or are people low on it or whatever when we go into Thursday and we do our traditional review. And then obviously Friday we'll sit down here and we'll have a full, like, what we liked, what we didn't, non-spoiler, and then a full spoiler review. So we'll see there. But anyway, those tickets supposedly go on sale tomorrow. We'll have more details about the big Superman early access for Prime members launch event, but we shall see. I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Predator Hulu movie. I was without internet access for a large majority of the weekend and was not able to watch the Predator Hulu movie. Has anybody seen this movie? Is this one called Predator?
Killer of Killers.
Killer of Killers. I keep wanting to call it Predator Badlands because that's the other Predator movie.
That's the next one that's coming out. Currently sitting at a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, that's really good. if this thing was in theaters, I would see it today. It's not. It's Hulu. I have Hulu. I don't love streaming movies. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I really like just going to the theater, having my ritual there. But has anybody seen it? Let us know in the live chat if you've seen the Predator movie and whether or not you'd recommend it. It is an animated movie, so I feel like that's already a little barrier to entry for a lot of people who are big horror fans, horror action fans that would give it a shot. So let us know what you think of the Predator Hulu movie, but I need to check that out. I've also heard good things about the Pee Wee Herman documentary that has released on...
I had that on the viewing menu this morning. Pee Wee Herman as himself. It's Paul Rubens reflecting on his life as well as the creation of Pee Wee Herman.
It is interesting that, he passed away a year and a half ago or so, and he now is being buzzed about because of this documentary. I definitely want to check it out and see what I don't already know about his story. The final Muppet Vision 3D showings happened this past weekend at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Jim Henson's daughter was there.
She was the last one admitted, which I thought was a really cool gesture there. And she turned around and thanked all the fans that had come out to support. And, it's kind of sad because this was the last thing Jim Henson worked on before he passed away. And there's a lot of people that wanted to see it go forever. I've gone to that show multitude of times, and every time I'm like, man, this thing is aging poorly. Every single time. It just gets more and more. Part of the whole gimmick is that it's kind of a dilapidated sort of like,
it's an old theater. The Muppet Theater has always been a beat up, haggard theater that they desperately need to repair.
Yeah, and that's part of the charm of it. That's part of the gimmick, but
making the guests sit in the uncomfortable seats and then I feel like the whole 3D gimmick or 4D gimmick has kind of died out, so it's just there's not a place for it.
A lot of people went into that because it was dark and air conditioned in the theme park. Let's just be honest. But there is a special place in my heart for having seen it. I was glad I was able to take my daughter to it before it ended up getting shut down here. And I'm excited to see what they do with the Rock and Roller Coaster, which is going to be rebranded into Muppet theming. It's going to be Aerosmith here for a hot minute. So I'm a huge Aerosmith fan as well. So if I get out there, I may have to do Rock and Roller Coaster just one last time, the Aerosmith version. But I've gotten to the point where roller coasters, it's like a life or death proposition for me now, because just my size and like the jerkiness, and I'm just not as young as I once was. And I don't want to feel sick the rest of the day.
Oh, that's fair.
Eventually you're going to reach a point, Tyler, where you're going to go, I don't know if roller coasters are for me anymore. Maybe you've already reached that point.
Well, it depends because I don't mind most roller coasters, but then there's some that are more focused on like spinning you around and making you dizzy, and I don't like that. There was always one at Six Flags. It was like right before you got to the Ninja, and it was called the wheelie, and the thing would just go around and around, and then it would start flipping you, and I would say no thank you.
Yeah,
do that.
That sounds awful.
That would make me so nauseous, and it did make me so nauseous the one time I did it.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Let's see here in the chat, by the way. Hunter Bussey talking about the Predator movie looks good. And also Jeff saying, heard it is good, similar in style to Blue-Eyed Samurai, which I'm sure you know more about, Tyler, than I do.
The art style's similar, but I actually never sat down to watch that one.
And Jody says, I saw the Alto Nights this weekend, and it was not bad at all. That's the biggest shocking message of the whole.
I mean, I'm not surprised that it's not bad, but it's just supposed to be better than what it is, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
and from what you would expect. I mean, you got Joe Pesci and De Niro teaming up for that one, right?
Joe Pesci's in Alto Nights?
I thought so. No. Alto Nights is where De Niro's two people, right? Right. Okay, got it confused.
Just full of misinformation today.
I'm just saying things today.
You're good.
I haven't slept.
You're good. Just hang in there. We're almost done. We got Smuff who says, I hate that they decommissioned Muppet stuff, but I really wish they would do more with them. That's been your wish for a while. And Brian Pavlik, you and Brian Pavlik, y'all are like, whenever y'all get to talking about Muppets, there's an energy, and I'm like, man, y'all been talking about it for an hour, and this is good. But when y'all get on your Muppets kick, man, you guys love some Muppets and love some Looney Tunes and all that. But yeah, will they do more with the Muppets? We shall see. The rebrand of the roller coaster, I think, is going to be a big deal, so we'll see. There's a re-release coming up this Friday that you plan to attend.
Yes, there is.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And the reason they're re-releasing it, brace yourself. It's because this Friday is Friday the 13th. I don't know if anybody's aware of that, but kind of a big holiday for the horror community, Friday the 13th. The original is being re-released. I wish it was like part 6 or something. I wish it was like, give me premium Jason.
It's the 45th anniversary of the first one.
I know, but like it is Friday the 13th. Give me Jason, and the original Friday the 13th.
I mean, that's fair. We can always do the 2009 version. That one has Jason in it.
Tyler, you chose violence today, and I don't appreciate it. But no, like Friday the 13th Part 3 would be great in the theater. I don't know. The original Friday the 13th, I think people remember it pretty fondly, but nobody wants to sit down and watch that.
Yeah. I mean, it just plays out like a standard slasher. I might not even go to it, but I've reserved a seat to it.
Okay. Well, keep us up to date on where you are temperature check-wise.
I mean, like you always say, Jason is a good character, but the Friday the 13th movies are not good.
They're bad. Late Night with the Devil, though, is a great horror movie that we both really enjoy, and you have shown me some sick art from the 4K. Now, if I was a good friend here, I would have said have it ready to show everybody, but we can show it another time because we're going to talk about it again. And people can quickly Google it if they're really interested in this, but there's a 4K, it's a steelbook, right? 4K steelbook edition. It looks super sweet. What are the details that you know about this? Like, when can you pre-order it, and when does it go out? Do you have any of those any of that information?
There's a link available on Amazon, so like there is a spot where you could like just have it saved in your shopping list, but it says currently unavailable. And from what I've seen on the steelbook communities on Reddit, is that this one will be releasing next month. And that's all I know right now.
Well, keep me updated on anything you see there, because it looks sick. It looks really, really good. Let's see. Justin's in the chat here. Tim, would your next road trip to Orlando be for Disney or Epic Universe? That's a great question. I've done a lot of walkthroughs on YouTube of Epic Universe. There's a couple of things that interest me. Like, I really want to go to
the Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe for sure.
Yeah.
Especially at night. Like, give me the Wolfman vibes. Give me Frankenstein. Give me Dracula. Give me all that. I feel like that got the short end of the stick. It's one of the smaller areas of the park. Mm-hmm. I'm like, guys, do you not realize like this would have been like...
Well, that's also the least sure thing in movies because they just keep missing.
Yes. But in popular culture...
There was supposed to be... Dark Universe was supposed to get started back when... was when Tom Cruise did The Mummy, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about that phase where they had the whole cast photo and none of those people ended up in anything. Yeah, we don't talk about that. But I feel like for a theme park, it's perfect. And people want to live that. They want to see it, and they kind of gave it the shortest end of the stick there. I do want to go to Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a one and done. Once you do it once, there's not really much else to see, but I've never done it once. And I've watched all these videos. I want to do that. Take my daughter to that.
Donkey Kong minecart ride.
Yeah, I do too.
That one looks sick. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's your standard minecart roller coaster, like you would see at Six Flags or Walt Disney World, or really anywhere that has roller coasters. And the thing with this one is to simulate the appearance of the cart going off the tracks, jumping off and catching the other side of the tracks. There's like an arm on the side of the cart.
Yeah.
That just sort of, that's what you're on. You're not really on the tracks.
It gives a visual illusion for sure, but it looks like a smart design. I haven't heard rave reviews about the roller coaster, but it looks like it's more my pace compared to some of the other stuff. So it does. So I want to do that, and I want to do the Dark Universe. I don't care about the How to Train Your Dragon area, and don't care about the movie coming out this weekend. I hope it's good. I hope everybody enjoys it. That's really a big fan of How to Train Your Dragon. I hear the movie after the first 15 minutes really picks up, and it's really, really good after that. So let me know what you think. But How to Train Your Dragon has just never been really on my radar. I missed that phase. Let's see what else. Harry Potter. Obviously, if you've followed the show here, you know I'm not a pothead. I don't ingest a lot of that. But for those that are giant potheads, like I know that they are really loving a lot of it. But a lot of this is set around like the Fantastic Beasts sort of vibe. And if you like early 20th century Paris, like this is for you, supposedly. So I don't know. Not really my thing. And I'm trying to think about what else I would be really excited to attend there. I think that's pretty much it. Celestial Park doesn't look anything special to me. I don't know.
What is that even supposed to be?
I don't know. Just the connective area that brings all these different sort of areas together.
I get confused every time I read a description of it because it just sounds like fluffy language for like Main Street USA.
Basically. Look, I'm a Disney fan. I prefer those parks, that experience, those memories, and would spend most of my time there. But I want to do Super Nintendo World, and I want to do Dark Universe for sure. Okay, so I appreciate the question there, Justin. If y'all have any questions, by the way, just fire those in. We'll get to them before the stream ends here. I do want to talk about a 50th anniversary steelbook that's coming out in Jaws. I just secured
so sick.
It does. I just secured the 45th anniversary steelbook, right? So I'm really like, I don't want to go down that road of just collecting every 5 years a new steelbook for Jaws, but man, it looks so good. And I love it. It supposedly does have a new documentary associated with the project as well. But they also have that Jaws 50th special that's happening on like Disney and Hulu, Disney Plus and Hulu, coming out early July. And I'm like, that should be enough to satiate me. You know, like, I don't know. I really want it. It would end up being about $40. I don't want it to show up dented or anything, and that would just make me angry. Mm-hmm. Part of me just wants to wait. Like, those 50th anniversary copies are going to be around for a long time. I mean, they're going to be around for the next 5 years. I've seen the 45th anniversary and how it's just continued to be recycled. There's really no reason for me to hurry up and get it, but man, it does look good. So part of me wants to get it. And I know I'll watch Jaws again this summer, and I'll just want to go ahead and buy it, and I probably will. So we'll see how that works. But anyway, if you need to get your Jaws looked at, by the way, I recommend there's one team in town that is the very best, and that is Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They're located just a hop, skip, and jump away from you. They're on Grants Mill Road. There's a roundabout there that you may have to navigate through, but you know what? There's a direct line that I need to send you, and that is to my dental team. They're at Alabama Dental Associates, located there on Grants Mill Road, providing you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. You're seeing all the services fly there across your screen that may be of interest to you. If you are tired of your dentist, who knows, maybe you have a dentist that you love that's retiring and you need to find a new dentist. And you know, you're not a big fan of who they're replacing your family dentist with. Go try out Alabama Dental Associates. I promise you're going to have a great time there. If you're new in town, need to find a dentist, they are the team for you. They're at Alabama Dental, accepting new patients now, and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, we look forward to talking about the box office here. And as we go through the top 10 for the weekend, there are things that I was right about. There are things that I am wrong about. I'm going to start off with what I was wrong about. I was convinced in its opening weekend, Ballerina would be the number one movie in the country.
I was hesitant, and then you were like, "Oh, you always get this wrong."
You do.
I put you on the spot, and I was like, "Fine, I'll go with what you say."
And I appreciate you going with what I say, but this is more. This is less of a reflection on our prediction, and more of a reflection of what we got right about this, which is a John Wick movie without John Wick as the star does not work.
Yes.
And I thought they'd be able to get through one weekend without that being known, and they got through maybe one day without it being known. And then word got out. What we've got to do is we've got to understand that it used to be weekend to weekend word would travel, and now it is like day to day, hour to hour, thanks to social media. People know pretty quickly whether or not they want to go invest in something opening weekend now because of word of mouth and how quickly it travels. It used to be in the industry, you used to get a couple weekends. This was 20 years ago. You used to get a couple weekends before word of mouth completely either lifted or destroyed something. Then it has become one weekend for the majority of our existence, and then now it's like a day before people figure out whether or not Ballerina is for them. If you've listened to our review, then you know there's no need to rush out and see Ballerina.
Yeah.
However, I thought people would, for themselves, go out and check it out, and they did not. It ended up in the number 2 spot, making just $25 million this weekend. Now, I promise you this. Had John Wick 5 released this weekend, it would be the number 1 movie in the country.
Oh, absolutely.
And it would have made closer to probably $50 million.
Yes.
Something like that. Maybe even a little bit more, maybe 60. But it would have made a lot more money opening weekend. And Ballerina, the whole bait and switch of we're going to give you a John Wick movie without John Wick being the star, it's just not working. It didn't work for the Continental television series, which was DOA. Like, nobody talked about it. I
haven't even seen it.
I didn't even see hardly any advertising for it. I mean, it was just like...
because you got to have, what was it, Paramount Plus?
It was Peacock.
I thought it was Paramount Plus for some reason.
You're 0 for 3 today.
Oh well. I don't have either streaming service.
Yeah.
I don't have Peacock or Paramount, so I couldn't watch it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why paywall this stuff? Like, put it behind the streaming service, because like no one knew about this.
Yeah, it may have been one of those things that if they threw it out for free on YouTube, it may get a Cobra Kai sort of thing where people get excited about it, even though that was like YouTube Red or YouTube Plus
Red.
Or whatever it was. But it ended up sort of taking off and getting sold off for its parts. But we'll talk a little bit more about Cobra Kai in that universe in just a second. But from the world of John Wick Ballerina, which, by the way, is an awful name. And the reason they did it is because they want to let you know, hey, this is not John Wick 5, but it is basically John Wick 3.5. So come out and see this because it takes place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. The movie's not god-awful. It's not horrible. It's not.
What a review.
It's not. It's just, the whole entire time I was watching it, I was like, why? Like, what are they trying to sell us?
Mm-hmm.
And they went hard on the fact that, hey, can't make a John Wick movie without John Wick being present. They put him in all the advertising, basically all of his scenes based on what you see in the trailers. That John Wick is on the poster. John Wick is in the title of the movie. But you also know John Wick is not the star of the movie. And it just does not work. And, I kind of jokingly in my out of the theater reaction kind of made it like a male-female thing where it's like, it's anchor man, not anchor lady. And that's part of it. That's part of it. Like, John Wick fans are fully invested in that character, his arc, his motivations, all that stuff. When you try to copy and paste with, well, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to switch things up to where the motivation is way more generic and the character's going to look completely different and the character's going to fight completely different but it's still going to have that same flow of being a John Wick movie. That copy and paste formula was a gamble that didn't work. And Lionsgate has been on a snooze fest here lately with hits. And they thought this one was going to be one. And it was not. I don't know what they're going to do other than try to get Keanu Reeves to make 5 more John Wick movies. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he will. I don't think
his body can handle it. He's been getting banged up making those John Wick movies.
He's talked about that. His knees. He says his knees don't want to make any more. So this experiment did not work. And when we went to go see the movie, there's nothing that justifies the experiment itself. Is it awful? No. If you're a completionist, should you see it? Yeah. If you are a casual moviegoer who's just looking for the best thing you can see at the movie theaters right now, there's about 4 other movies I would recommend above Ballerina. And that's probably being kind. I may end up being 5. So let's go through some of those. Maybe more than that. Lilo and Stitch is the number 1 movie in the country. Yet again, it dropped 47.4% in its 3rd weekend, making $32.5 million. This movie, its total international gross right now is at $772 million worldwide. Tyler, you've been on the train that this thing's going to hit $1 billion. I started to apologize. I'm starting now to go back in the camp of I think I'm right. I think it may not hit $1 billion.
It doesn't look like it.
I don't think it has enough gas in the tank because domestically it's pretty much drying up. Like, it is the number one movie in the country, but 30 million, and then, you know, next weekend it'll be maybe 20 million,
Right.
and the next weekend, you know, be maybe 15, and, you know, it's still, it's a wonderful success story, and I thought it would be. I just don't think it's going to hit $1 billion now. I feel pretty confidently it's not, but I'm sure I'm wrong. Disney always seems to prove me wrong at the box office.
I mean, I guess what this movie has going against it is the criticisms and comparisons to the originals, because that's where I've seen a lot of the negativity around this movie, is the fact that they do change some stuff up, and the fact that it is another Disney live-action remake.
Yeah.
So, I think that hurts it, but
It's good.
overall, they
Yeah.
were going to put this on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Think of all the money left out on the table by doing that.
for sure. I think the movie's very good. I enjoyed it very much. It's one of my favorite movies of the year in Lilo and Stitch. Best family movie of the year for sure so far, and it's there at the number 1 spot. It's in over 4,000 theaters. It is the most widely distributed movie in existence currently. So it is doing well there at the top spot. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning coming in the 3rd spot there, making $15 million, half of what Lilo and Stitch has made here in its 3rd weekend out, but still holding relatively strong still. Will this movie end up getting to the break-even point? I think it's a long-term play for Mission Impossible. Like, short-term theatrically, they're willing to take the hit on it. Paramount is, because long-term it makes the value of the rest of the franchise go up. You know, people are going to buy the bundles digitally. They're going to buy the bundles physically. They're going to want to have the complete set. And it's going to also, if you look at the charts right now for what people are renting at home, all the other Mission Impossible movies, you're one of those people who's added those figures. All of them soared with the release of this movie. So Paramount knows they're going to get a lot of money there on distributing this thing digitally. So it's going to be okay overall. And obviously their relationship with Tom Cruise is very important, because they want more of what Tom Cruise has offered in successful pictures with other franchises especially. So Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning will not be looked at as some sort of horrible miss. It'll be looked more of as an investment in that relationship that Paramount has with Tom Cruise. Karate Kid Legends there at the number 4 spot. This is a movie that made like $20 million last weekend, made $8 million this weekend, a big drop, 57.1%. This is pretty much the biggest drop of anything in the top 10. It's not holding well. Word of mouth on this is not helping it very much. A lot of Karate Kid fans, they skew older, and they've tried resuscitating this thing for a younger crowd. It's just not catching on too much. I think it's hard to believe, especially for me. I'm not a big Karate Kid franchise fan, but it's hard to believe that in one finite area, everyone would be solving their problems through karate. I don't know. I feel like that's tough. Like, you know, everyone's just decided to take up karate and battle with karate and have their bullies taken down with karate, and, you know, it's just a tough thing to kind of wrap your head around in a modern age, especially.
It's very odd, because even the adults use karate in Karate Kid Legends. Yeah. Like, there's a guy who owns a pizza shop, and he asked main character kid to teach him karate, so he doesn't get beat up by loan sharks.
To be fair, he's boxing, though. I mean, that makes more sense.
That makes more sense, but it's still like suspension of disbelief, even for a Karate Kid movie.
For sure.
Too far.
I agree with you. But I didn't love it. It's very generic. It's inoffensively generic. Like, that's the nicest thing I can say about that. They should put that on the poster. Inoffensively generic. Tim Melton, The Meltdown. But it's fine.
It's perfect for a sleepy matinee where you're the only one in the theater.
It is. As we continue on, the Phoenician Scheme ended up at the number 6 spot. I just skipped right over Final Destination Bloodlines, which is still holding really, really well. You want to talk about the movie that I think, like, Final Destination Bloodlines and Sinners, which are both still in the top 10, can really beat their chest and say, not only did we do well in the genre, did well in relation to just the expectations of where we would be going into the year. Sinners is heralded by most people as being the best movie of the year. I still feel very strongly that it is. And Final Destination Bloodlines had no reason in the world to be as good as it was. And it was fantastic. Love that movie.
So much fun.
So much fun. Gave the audience exactly what they pay a ticket for. I think Tyler and I both love when the audience gets their return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that makes us most excited. And I don't think there's a movie this year that has given a better return on investment than Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm not saying it's the best movie of the year. I'm saying there's no movie that has, if you go to see a Final Destination movie,
oh, yeah.
This is you're getting exactly what you pay for.
All the boxes.
Check all of them. So happy about that.
The new Final Destination movie feels like the kind of movie that people in Final Destination would go see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like that. There's always a scene in a horror movie where it cuts to a crowd in a theater. Everybody's got 3D glasses on, a big bucket of popcorn, and they're all going, ah! That's Final Destination Bloodlines.
100%. That's a perfect way to put it. The Phoenician Scheme, the new Wes Anderson movie, which sounds like the 8th layer of hell for me. I'm not planning on seeing it, but ended up in the 6th spot there.
This is the one I refused to see over the weekend because I've heard it's the most Wes Anderson movie. People have called it a parody of Wes Anderson movies. No, thank you. Wes Anderson movies feel like he's just behind the camera with his pinky out the whole time.
That sounds completely accurate. The Phoenician Scheme, just the name of it alone.
Oh yeah.
It did not do very well, and ended up in the 6th spot in its main wider expansion debut. And I don't think that this movie is going to be culturally significant in any way. Don to Don, Eagle Eye, is that correct? No, Evil Eye. I'm sorry. Don to Don, Evil Eye. I believe Eagle Eye is a movie that stars Billy Bob Thornton and Shia LaBeouf. I don't know if that's correct. That sounds right. Sounds right. And we're going to go with it. EG told me if I'm just confident about it that it'll work. Yeah. So Don to Don, Evil Eye. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to tell me why this is a win for Don to Don and what you think about it.
So, after the success of Demon Slayer Mugen Train a few years back, anime studios have started to realize, hey, we can just package together the first few episodes of upcoming seasons as a movie, release it in theaters, and get a whole bunch of buzz for the upcoming season. And so that's what Don to Don's done. It's a sneak preview of season 2, which doesn't come out until July. And they did the same thing for season 1. And I think it's a fantastically weird anime. It is about aliens and ghosts and people that get alien and ghost powers to stop them. And it's absolutely bizarre and funny and sometimes really, really dark, but it's very well done, and this could potentially be the best anime of 2025. It was given all of the awards at Crunchyroll, the Crunchyroll Anime Awards last year. It swept the show. Best anime of 2024, which I called, by the way, after just seeing the sneak preview last year, and I think this one is in contention for best anime of 2025.
You went longer than 60 seconds, but I'll tell you this. I felt that passion in your heart when you were delivering that. So I appreciate you taking the extra time because you were able to get it across. And I'll always remember Don to Don as being the thing that the guy had the bathroom attack in, which I talked about late last week, which he was struggling there in the bathroom. And he wanted to tell me all about it for some reason. I just wanted to wash my hands, get out of there. So there we go. Don to Don, Evil Eye.
A lot of hype for this show. It's got a really dedicated fan base on the manga side of things before this was adapted into a show. And then, like I said, with season 1, the hype just grew to insane levels. And so that's why we saw so much success with this upcoming sneak preview of season 2.
A lot of people checking it out for sure. They're ending up in the top 10 at the 8th spot. Sinners at number 9. Holding still really well considering it's available on digital and it's still performed top 10 worthy. Thunderbolts at the number 10 spot, which is going to be looked at as another Marvel misfire. We'll talk more about that and its legacy. And then at number 11 and number 12, the two movies I'm planning on seeing today, I'm actually going to go right now to go see the movie Dangerous Animals, which is a shark movie. Tyler has related it to the Saw series if it had some sort of shark element to it, so I'm excited about that. We'll talk more about it tomorrow because I want to be able to see the movie. And then Friendship, which is a movie you've been talking about nonstop. that I'm finally going to check off my 2025 list, and I'm going to watch this double feature. So I'm going to go take care of that. Tyler, you take the rest of the day, my friend, and we will.
I'm debating on seeing The Ritual, which I don't even. Did that even make? Where is that? How much money did that make? I don't even have it in the top 25. That's disappointing. It's a horror movie with Al Pacino and Dan Stevens, and I think Al Pacino just has gone broke. So I'm gonna try and check that out today and see how bad it is. It debuted with a goose egg on Rotten Tomatoes.
Al Pacino has kids to support. If you know the story, you know the story. But we'll see if Tyler can make it through that and not call it the worst movie of the year. He did see the Weekend movie earlier this year, so I'm sure that's going to rank pretty low too. So we'll see. I'm really excited about Tyler's top 10 worst movies of the year at the end of this, because there's some real stinkers.
Oh, that's always fun, because I go see everything, and so there's some movies where you go, well, why would you even see that? And that's the point. That I find the worst movies of the year.
There we have it. That's what happens. We're trying to protect you, and we're going to go see everything that we can. I'm going to go check out a couple movies today and see if me and Tyler are lined up on those. But we hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. You can make it even better by visiting our title sponsor. That's MyBookie at MyBookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. That's MyBookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus. We appreciate all of you, Meltdonia, for being here. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, as we broadcast live from the Culver studio.